Hi, this is Drake Oakey, your athletic director here at Memphis Community Schools. We're excited to tell you that we're about to start off our 2020 fall sports season here at Memphis. And after what we've all been through for the last 5 months, I'll tell you we got a lot of excited kids and a lot of excited coaches to move forward and get this thing going. One of the things I wanted to do was take the time to meet with you today and introduce some of our, if not all of our, fall coaches. We've got coaches that have been working with our kids throughout the whole summer. We've had great turnouts. And one of our coaches who's returning to the coaching sidelines is a Memphis alumnus, Memphis teacher, and she coached JV volleyball 2 years ago, took a 1-year sabbatical to introduce us to another future Memphis athlete. And we're glad to have you back, Alex, and Alex Guntz. Welcome back to coaching volleyball.
Thank you. I'm very excited to come back this year.
After being off for a year, and I mean, what everybody's been dealing with, but after being off for a year, are you pretty excited to get back?
Oh yeah, definitely. It was hard not to coach last year. Thankfully, I had it in good hands with Coach Claire, but it was definitely hard not to be part of that.
Well, like we said earlier, we saw you lurking around the gym every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, but Alex, I mean, like a couple of things. I know the kids were real excited to hear you were coming back, and that's fantastic. You know, when you're teaching kids, and then they know you're going to coach them. But what does it mean to you to be an alumnus, to coach at the school you excelled in volleyball and basketball at?
I mean, it's really cool. I love getting the kids, even young, that I'm not directly working with, to come out and join volleyball and really like love and be passionate about the sport that I was most passionate about. So it's very cool to have seen it from a player's perspective and now as a coach.
Well, we're real excited about the volleyball program. We think the junior high coaches, and then, as you said, Logan Claire, Coach JV last year, there seems to be a lot of excitement with the younger volleyball players. And to show that up is when we had our summer workouts, we had a great turnout, didn't we? Pretty much every turnout.
Yes, we had a really good turnout from the junior high and the high school. I think the girls are really excited to get back into the season this year.
Well, again, we're glad to have you back.
Thank
And
you.
congratulations again on your new Memphis athlete.
Thank you.
And I know I'm speaking on behalf of the girls. We're proud to have you back, and we look forward to great things this fall. And hopefully we'll be able to move forward. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're very excited to have returning to our sideline chair is our head coach Kelly Clark. Kelly is a Memphis teacher, and she's been coaching the sideline cheer here, as well as our competitive cheer program. Whereas we want to kind of focus on the fall sports, we would like to have Kelly here to kind of go over what you've been doing over the summer, Kelly, with the girls.
It's been really nice to get back to practice. We had a good group of girls turn out. We've been doing a lot of conditioning, some mat rolls, working on jumps, motions, back to the basics because we can't stunt right now, but they're doing a really good job with it.
Kelly, how long have you been teaching here at Memphis?
This will be year 23.
23 years. So the girls come through you in the elementary, and that's get to build a good relationship with them. How many years are you now coaching cheerleading?
This will be my 18th year coaching, but my 8th year at Memphis.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the program that you've ran, not only the sideline but the competitive, is one of the best around the state. We're very proud of it. And
Thank you.
one of the things that was great to see as a head coach for cheer over the summer was the great turnout you had. I mean, I talked to some other schools, and some of the cheerleading programs weren't showing up. Can you tell us how many kids were showing up, and what did you do during those workouts?
Well, right now we are combining junior high and varsity for conditioning, and we have a total of 30 girls that are showing up. Not all of them every day because it is summer, but we have 30 girls that we hope to have part of our program.
Well, that's fantastic, and as you said, the JV girls, they'll be cheerleading for hopefully the junior high football, which would take place as well. So you definitely have a full plate with both teams. I know you've got help, but it's still, as a head coach, it makes it kind of hard to stay organized and stuff like that. What are some of the things, though, you've shared with the girls at the upcoming season and stuff like that?
Shared with them as far as what?
Well, are they expectations of being able to cheer at games and stuff like that? And is it something they look to maybe progress to Is it just sideline cheerleaders, and then they want to progress to become a competitive cheerleader, or is it usually
So
separate
it's
groups?
just sideline cheer right now, and then we're just working on the fundamentals of cheer, and hopefully they'll be able to cheer games. We'll see what happens with this virus. And then we'll try out again in November, and that will be competitive season.
Now, you just had a huge graduating class.
Yes.
So if I'm a young girl who's never cheerleaded before, whether I'm in 7th grade or I'm in 10th grade, what do I need to do to try to be a part of this?
Show up with a positive attitude and be willing to work hard.
Well, all right.
We're willing to work with anybody that's willing to put in the effort.
Well, again, thank you for all your hard work, and it's great to have somebody in our program that's, teaching the kids on a daily basis and then able to coach them for so long, and we're proud to have you here at Memphis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. This next guest here, we're very proud of. Mr. Rohde's been not only a school teacher here at Memphis, but he's also been our head boys varsity soccer coach. He's also been our head girls soccer coach, and he's also this year defending our boys district championship that we won last year at New Haven. So welcome to the Sting Report, Mr. Rohde.
Thank you for having me.
Andrew, you've had a great career here. You've been teaching here how many years at Memphis?
This will be my 20th year.
20 years. And then how many years coaching boys soccer?
This will be my 19th for boys and 20th for the girls.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you've had a lot of success. I mean, just in the short time I've been here, but over the years, you've had a lot of success. You're coming off a district championship last year. I know we had a couple of years we won, I think, back-to-back or league championships. And I think, I know with the group you got coming back, there's a lot of excitement. What are some of the goals that you have, and what do you foresee for our varsity team this year?
I think this year with the boys will be another competitive year. We've got our senior group will be kind of the dominant group of the team, both in numbers and probably in talent as well. So it'll be great to see them be able to finish off their high school careers with a good competitive year.
Well, you got to be excited that in spite of what we're all dealing with, at least it looks like we're going to get off to soccer practice next week, and we've got a game in a few weeks. So what are some of the things you're able to share with your kids to get them excited? I mean, because it's been such a long down period for everybody. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to do with your kids to get them going?
I think it'd be good to just get them into somewhat of a new normal routine for them. But being out there with their peers and being able to play the game they love instead of just sitting at home and not doing much of anything. I think they're probably more than any other year be ready to get back in and do some work since the end of last year and the summer have kind of blended together. It's just been such a long time since they've done a normal thing.
We've had summer workouts throughout the summer, and we've had a lot of soccer players showing up, so that should help. And you've got games so quickly, really more than any sport you'd be playing, basically, 2 weeks. How do you keep the kids head into it in a normal situation when they start playing really before school's in place, all the way to almost the end of October when you're talking about districts? How do you keep those kids focused when they're going through such a transition, not only in school but in weather and stuff like that?
Well, it's kind of a blessing and a curse to be able to start right away with games instead of practices getting monotonous. We should have our first game, hypothetically, after 7 practices, I believe. And then from then on, it's just playing the game of, what can we do in practice versus saving our legs for games, and what can we fix from game to game and scouting from game to game, being prepared. So it is kind of I like it as far as the season doesn't get stale.
No,
We're always progressing through, and it is kind of an interesting way in that you start out with such nice weather and you can end up with such terrible
That's
weather.
I remember the district championship, I had a winter hat on and gloves and,
Yeah,
You
never know what you're going to get. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Coach, one thing I wanted to always ask you is being a teacher in the building, do you think help in recruiting of kids? But more importantly, communication with kids and staying on top of them. Does that help you as a coach?
I think so, because it's always, I can find kids throughout the day, whether I have them actually in class or just looking through the hallways for them. So communication for, day-to-day things, staying on top of them as far as grade-wise, knowing their teachers, and who is going to need that extra push to make sure that they are staying on top of things eligibility-wise.
Okay. Well, it's going to be a challenge this year, especially in the fall season if we're doing virtual and stuff like that. So I know you'll do a great job with that. And, we're proud of the success you've had here and all the great work you do with our kids. And we're looking forward to hopefully a full soccer season this fall and hopefully some more championships. So
Thank you so much. Me too.
well, thanks for coming. And I know next week's a big week for you. And we'll see you on the playing field in a couple of weeks.
All right, sounds good.
Again, this is Drake Oakey. I'll be right back.
There's a buzz around Memphis.
The success in the classroom.
And our rich music and choir program
Are leading the way.
by building a sound foundation.
The future looks brighter than ever.
our softball program,
High jump solid studs.
Our girls basketball program.
shooting for the stars,
Our Memphis Athletic Booster Program,
a soccer league three-peat,
knocking down the competition.
cross country state bound again,
Swinging for the fences.
Wrestling district champs
4 years in a row. Small town Friday night lights.
Memphis boys basketball protecting the high.
Memphis Bass Fishing Team. Fish on.
Memphis Equestrian, enjoy the ride.
We have a team for you. Come be a part of it.
Well, welcome back to the STEAM Report. We still have a few more coaches to go, and I'm very proud to be able to announce that we have a new head varsity volleyball coach for this year. Our varsity volleyball coach is also a Memphis alumnus. He's also a Memphis teacher, and he coached last year on our JV program. When you met Alex Gunst wasn't able to practice last year, he took over the JV program of it. So a lot of the girls that he'll be getting this year, he's already coached a lot of them, and created a lot of excitement down there at the JV level, which is why we believe that we know we've got a bright future here at Memphis. And Logan, I'd like to welcome you to our coaching staff at the varsity level.
Thank you. Yeah, I had 3 stops at the JV level with softball, a week of baseball, and then a full season of volleyball, so it's nice to be up here and running the show a little.
Is this a special thing for you to be a head coach of a program at your school, your high school you went to?
Yeah, my wife actually played 2 years, played a year with Coach Gunston High School, is also a Memphis alumni, and she's going to be assisting me this year, so it's nice to take over that program that I saw have a lot of success and look to try and build back to that success that they had when I was here.
Well, you did a great job as JV coach last year and created a lot of excitement. So when we were looking for a new head coach, it made it easier not to have to look too far, to bring somebody like you in the program. Some of the things that you've done as a head coach that you're actually doing as a JV coach that I was impressed with is, you're utilizing the weight room with the girls, not just with volleyball, but the other sports, but you're getting the volleyball girls involved with the weight room and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
It started a couple years ago. Coach Walsh, the head varsity softball coach, and I kind of talked about getting them in the weight room, and I would see 4 girls at a time. And that's kind of built to now this year for volleyball, we were seeing 20, 25, even 30 girls outside conditioning, getting ready for the season. So it's been a slow buy-in process, but we really saw a big boom this year. And I think it's going to pay a lot of dividends for us, getting them stronger, getting them faster, and just having them in season shape before the season already starts.
Well, I've had the opportunity to watch not only our varsity, but our JV girls throughout the years. And I've also been able to see junior high games. And I look at some of the junior high teams, we've always been pretty competitive. But then it seemed when we got to the JV and varsity level, like, why are we dropping off so much? And a lot of it was the physicality, the speed and agility, and the strength and conditioning. Well, we were able to put a lot of money into our weight room this past year. So, both genders and either size of person, whether they're big and tall or, you know, not so big and tall, not strong, you know, something like that, can utilize it. Do you think that's going to make a big difference with our new weight room and the fact that both, you know, the girls will be able to get in there and work? Do you think that's going to make a big difference in assisting us to be more successful?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we can get inside, I'm looking to get those girls in there with now 2 squat racks that we had before and the 2 beautiful brand new ones that we have. There's a lot more that we can do with that leg strength, which is the basis for everything in a lot of our sports. So it really gives us more opportunities to get them stronger, to get them more in shape. And the bigger and stronger they are, the better they're going to be in their sport. There's no such thing as too strong for a high school athlete at this point.
Well, I agree, and you know, we've had our summer workouts. You've done you and your whole staff. I've seen your wife, your assistant coach, Coach Guns, their junior high coaches out there, which says that we've got a lot of unity in our coaching staff, which is fantastic, which is what we need. But I saw the way you're working out the girls. You know, how excited were you? How hard were they working? The numbers they showed up. What are your feelings there as coach throughout the last couple of months?
You know, it was great. It was early on. We had a lot of the girls, and then we saw a little dip around July 4th as they kind of enjoyed their summer, and we're seeing things ramp up again. It's been fantastic. We've had, I think, a half dozen 7th graders that have been to 80% of the workouts, which is great for girls that haven't even gotten to play a minute of volleyball yet for us. There's been great turnout out of our high school girls. It's allowed me, only with 1 year of coaching, to get to know the incoming freshmen, to get to know the seniors that are going to be this year that I haven't gotten to coach yet, to develop those relationships with them, just talking during those conditioning sessions, get to know them as athletes, and I think it's going to pay dividends once the season starts.
Well, again, I couldn't agree with you more. I think you and I have talked about the physicality of the athletes and stuff like that. What would be I mean, you know, Coach, you've been around long enough now, and you saw success here at Memphis. What's the one thing, I guess, that's in the back, if I could pick your brain for a minute, what's the one thing you're like, I'm going to do this so that we can become successful? What's that one thing that you see for the volleyball program here at Memphis?
Just getting them to buy into a real team mentality and working as a single unit. When I went back, I took advantage of the time we had off, and I went and reviewed tapes from the last couple of years that they had been fortunate enough to record for us, and I looked at what are we doing wrong and what's going right. And individually they have a lot of strength and a lot of good skills. We're working as a cohesive unit, and building that team unity is going to pay a lot. And getting them stronger so that when they are getting up to hit, we're putting that ball away instead of hitting slower, and they're able to dig it up.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you have a good game plan in place, and well, we hope for not only your program, for all the programs, that we can move forward and have a successful fall season. But I want to say we're proud to have you here as the varsity girls volleyball coach. And we know that the program's in good hands, and with your assistants and your junior high coaches, we expect great things. And the biggest thing, people say, are we going to win a league? I said, you know, we always want to win, but I think one thing I'm proud about is that we have coaches in the varsity, or I should say the volleyball program. You're going to create good memories for the kids, you know, and that's the most important thing. Give them a structure, teach them how to get in better shape, you know, but give them a structure, and everything else is, you know, could fall into place. But basically, what I like about what you're doing so far is you're giving the kids good memories. And that's, to me, the most important thing, what I look for. So we're proud to have you as the head varsity volleyball coach, and we welcome you to the varsity coaching staff.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot of pride in the program and the school. We had 5 of our 6 coaches, between Gino Latart, Sarah Knopfs, myself, my wife, and Coach Gunst, all went here and graduated from here. So there's a lot of pride in the school throughout the volleyball program.
Fantastic. Well, welcome and congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back in a few moments.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
Well, we're excited. We have to introduce our last coach today. We have a new addition, not only to our Memphis schools, but to our Memphis football coaching staff. And we are proud to announce that we have hired a head new football coach, and Mr. Todd Stump. Welcome, Todd.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, we're excited, and the short time you've been here, you've created a lot of excitement. Todd, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I know you're a teacher at Armada.
A teacher in Armada. I've coached football for 14 years, most of them at Armada, a couple years at K-PAC, have been assistants at the lower levels, was a varsity assistant for 3 years, and was a varsity head coach for 6 years.
At Armada?
At Armada.
Well, so you kind of, obviously you know the area very well, and you know these type of kids and stuff like that. We're excited because we believe we got a good young group of kids to move forward and take our football program to greater heights. One of the things that I was excited about is we had met back, I think it was November, December.
Yep.
And we were looking to bring you on to the staff then as an assistant coach. And what I really liked, I think I mentioned to you, was that you made yourself you're very apparent at a lot of our events. I've seen your girls basketball games, a boys basketball game. And I really liked that, knowing that you were already kind of buying into being a Memphis person.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us, so what was your incentive in doing something like that?
There's a couple different incentives there. One was just to kind of look at what type of athletes we have, what type of community sport we have, what kind of involvement students that maybe aren't directly involved in football, but do we have a lot of buy-in? Do we have great student sections? Do we have things like that, which we saw we did. And the other part was just to basically show kids that we support them as athletes, not just as football players, that we care about them more than just as a football player. Like I care, like I'm going to support you in the other things you want to do in life, and basically just be there to let kids know that I got your back. Like we're here to help you, we're here to support you and help you do what you want to accomplish.
Well, Todd, a lot of things you might not know, but the community might know. We did have to we made a transition with our head football coach here just a few weeks ago. And to do something like that so late in the year sometimes can be, almost like, destruction,
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons we had looked at you was the relationship you had already built with a lot of our kids in our program. Not only showing up like you did, but the summer workouts. Can you tell us how, when you came into this looking at it as being an assistant coach, which is a big difference than a head coach, how were you able to build such a great relationship with the kids so quickly, even, at first as an assistant coach?
I think a lot of it is just being genuine with kids. Sometimes, you go to summer workouts and kids are struggling, but they don't see the improvement they're doing. So you talk about the improvement, you be very real with kids, you be honest with kids, and then you show up and work hard. And the other thing is you're accountable to your work. If you say you're going to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and that matters to people, but especially kids. You need to be very accountable to your work, and you have to be very dependable to the kids, and I think kids see that. I think as being a teacher for 15 years, I think one of the things it's taught me is kids will see through fake people very, very quickly. They can tell very quickly if you're being genuine to what you're saying or if you don't really believe what you're saying. And I think that comes, I'm a very genuine person, I'm a very honest person, sometimes to a fault. But I think kids really appreciate people they're honest with them and help them get better. So I think that's how you build relationships with people. You like being around people that want to make you better.
Well, one of the things I liked about when we were most of the time we were just talking, but it was actually the interview process. You may not have realized it at the time, but
Nope.
A lot of the coaches I would talk to be honest with you, would say, well, I want to come to Memphis because I want to stop the losing, or I want to make them better, which is great. But you're the one coach that said, I see 4 wins, I see 5 wins, I see, victories, I see success. And that's what we want to breed. I mean, here at Memphis, we had Andrew Rohde here. He's won 3 league championships in the last 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
district championship. Our cheerleaders are competitive. Cheerleading division champs 2 years in a row. And our wrestling's got 28 districts. And, You know, basketball, we had a lot of success last year on the verge of winning the district championship. Our baseball team just had 5 different athletes represent baseball, you know, in the All-Star game and one soft. So we've had a lot of success. But what I liked is that you didn't look at the negative. You were like, hey, this is today, let's move forward with the positive. Have you noticed a difference in the kids' attitude, maybe, the way you've been so positive with them? You can't compare it to last year, but have you noticed a change in the summer workouts?
A little bit, not a ton, but a little bit. They seem very excited. They seem very optimistic about what's going to happen. You know, one of the things that everybody keeps saying is, we want to put in work. We want to win football games. As the kids keep saying, like, we want to win football games, and I think that comes down to is, you know, want is one thing, but are you willing to sacrifice and go to work to accomplish those things? And the kids are doing that. You know, we're doing 90-minute summer workouts, and they're getting a ton of work done. We timed 40s twice in the last 2 weeks. We've timed a 5-10-5 drill. We've done a couple other things where we're just getting them basically data so they can see themselves improving. And the kids, I think, have liked that. They like the fact that they're getting measured and they're seeing where they're at, and so they know what they have to do to move forward. We've incorporated a couple more speed and agility stuff and warm up so they can get that. We've noticed a change in running form already in some of the kids. So, and just them being able to get out there and work has been a big thing. So it's been a little bit different, but we had that going before there was a change in the head coach. But it's kind of built on that and continued to get better.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, one of the things that I noticed standing back and watching is, you know, the weight room's always been sort of the one stigma here. And we had the older ways and stuff like that and hadn't really utilized it. And now the difference is, instead of kids looking for excuses not to be here to lift weight, I see kids actually looking through the windows wanting to get in that weight room, you know, so they're chomping at the bit. So, you know, is that something you feel that you're well versed in and introducing and incorporating the weight room to our football program, which will help not only football but all the programs?
I think I'm well versed. I've worked for a number of years, both as an assistant and as a head coach at Armada, to build some of that culture, and not only just as a football coach, but as a coach for athletes, is bring athletes in. You know, when I was at Armada, we had cross country kids that just loved to lift. You know, and there was a lifting class that I helped out with last year that we brought in. There were cheerleaders that never lifted before, but in 2 weeks they figured out they really liked to lift and they really liked coming in and working out. And that kind of culture, you know, I love what I've heard so far. If coaches want to be invested in that weight room, coaches want to get their kids in there. I'm a big believer in having kids play as many sports in high school as they can, but I'm also a big believer in, given that part of it, we need to have kids that train year-round, not just lift weights, but train year-round. They need to do agility plyos. They need to do some speed work. They need to do those things to make them better athletes overall, and then they can get sport-specific training in whatever their sports are. I'm a big believer in having everybody working together. Makes it really easy to get those kids trained year-round.
One of the other things that, in our discussions, that I like that you said, some of the other coaches are like, hey, we can come up, make a difference in a couple of years, or make a difference in 3 years, and I hear that, that's great. But the one thing as AD I wanted to do was stability. And I know people leave, I mean, stuff like that. But the football program, you know, you've sat here, you've heard, you know, soccer 18 years, and cross country 11 years, and cheerleading 8 years, and, you know, all these different sports that have had longevity. You know, that's the one thing that you said that I liked, was even though you're teaching at a different school, you know, you wanted to make this your home for 15, 20 years, what have you. And that's what any successful program needs. Can I ask you, you know, what made you have those feelings about staying here at Memphis and applying for the head coaching position and wanting to be here for as long as you're talking about?
Kids, I liked what you had to say. I liked the vision you painted for what you want athletics as a whole to be. I think that very much aligned with what my vision of what a football program should be. Not gonna lie, it's close to home, that helps. You know, I live in Richmond, so having a 10-minute drive home is more beneficial than, you know, going to coach in Lapeer, where it's an hour drive home every day.
We don't talk about Richmond here. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like Ohio State.
Yeah, well, you can talk about whatever you want. That's where I live. So, I'm not gonna lie, that helped.
Right.
But, you know, just the kids here, the atmosphere. You know, I kept hearing, like, you've said it, and Mark Brimmer, before he resigned, was talking to me about it when he was here. He says he's got, you know, we had parent support. We had people that wanted to see us do well. He had very few parent complaints. He goes, I don't remember any major issues with it. It was people were very supportive. They wanted to see things get better. They were willing to help. There wasn't a lot of negativity there, and I think those are all things that really appealed to me, and that coming in, just people that want to work with you to make improvements. That's the big thing, is just being around people that want to get better together. And I really got that sense of feelings that people around here want to get better together. And they really don't care who gets credit for it, because I don't care who gets credit for it. I just want to help make things better.
That's a great attitude. And I do know you know this, and I want to tell the community that, and all the applicants we had, they range in variety from first-year coaches to assistant coaches, but we also, from other programs, but we also had some Hall of Fame coaches apply for this position. And so in making our decision and where we wanted to go with this, Todd, where I thought you stood out is just everything you've said. And, we had some Hall of Fame coaches that are not only in one Hall of Fame, but 2 high school Hall of Fame. And I thought, in my opinion, that, the community deserves you, because I know you're going to put the kids first. And one thing, Coach Brimmer and the coaching staff before them will tell you, you have a fantastic supporting cast. Your parents, boosters, the kids, the administration, the teachers, they just want kids to have an opportunity, and to be taught, to be led, and to be cared for, but, also to, be mentored and give them good memories. And we all know wins are the best way to good memories, but win or lose, we can still create a positive atmosphere. So of all the coaches, that's what I saw, envisioned, you taking this program in the same aspect as our other programs that, even though they may have a little more success at this time, wins and losses, the football program has been very, very closely knit, from the parents all the way down to the players. And that's one thing we do have to offer, a coach who's excited. And so in that regard, we're proud to have you here at Memphis. And, we're expecting great things for our kids, to you and your program. I know you're creating a staff. Any excitement there with the staff that you're formulating for our kids?
Coach Dwayne Kidd, who was here last year, will be back. He's been great so far. Brought in a guy that's been with me for 6 years named Nick Erkey. He's going to be a great addition. Adam Burgess, middle school and youth, has been heavily involved, and he's really supportive of what we're trying to do and aligned. Possible OC coming in, we're still working out the details with that, but there'll be another OC that's been an assistant coach of some big name programs, including Brother Rice, has been a head coach in Southern Macomb County. So those are some exciting guys coming in. You got a younger guy, but anyway, I should say young. He's my age, so I guess I can call him young, but he's not super young. Named Dave Kessler, lives in the area. Went to Memphis, I think, through 10th grade, and then transferred out. So he wants to help out. He called and just said he wanted to come help. He wanted to be part of it. And but he's got a good football background, but people wanting to be a part of it. You want those people involved. You want, because they're here for the right reasons. They're here to help make things better, and they're willing to sacrifice. He texted me. All the guys that text me and say, I'll help any way you want. I'll get busy and say, hey, I need help doing this, and somebody will pick it up every time. So all the guys have been great. Everybody's been incredibly helpful trying to get things done. I know it's been a whirlwind as late in the year we are trying to get things organized, get things done, but everybody's been super supportive, and it's been awesome so far.
Well, one thing about the names that you just mentioned, and some other coaches that we're still looking, hopefully bringing in, is we're not hiring anybody so far that said, well, this is what, I can do for you. It's more or less, this is what I can bring to the table. And there's a difference. I've done this. No, we want, what are you going to do for us? And when I say us, I mean our kids. And does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely does.
We're bringing people that want to do stuff, not, because they've been successful here, it's just automatically going to happen. They envision where they want the program to go, and it seems to be in line with what your idea is, and yes, as the athletic department as a whole. So I guess if there's any one question, I guess to end the conversation with them, get you on your way with get your game plan together, is what's the one thing that if you could point your finger at that's going to be typify Memphis football?
Toughness. And that can show in a variety of ways. But I think if you're mentally tough, you'll be physically tough. And if you're mentally tough, you're going to be determined. You're going to give great effort. You're going to Be disciplined. You're going to be accountable to your teammates. You're going to be accountable to your school. You're going to be accountable to your parents and family. You're going to be accountable. So toughness to me is kind of the typified note. I think toughness at times is misunderstood of what it is, but toughness is really will I do the right thing when nobody's watching? Because that's going to be able to take us where we want to go. Will I do the right thing when I don't think it really matters? Will I give the best effort and make sure that I do the technique right when the ball's running the complete opposite side of the field? You know, am I going to be the guy that loafs that player? Am I going to be the guy that runs over there and tries to get my job done with the best ability that I can? That's kind of what I want. You know, toughness can be misunderstood. And we can use a lot of other words to describe the individual parts of it, but I think when you look at toughness as a whole, it encompasses discipline and accountability and tenacity and great effort and all these other tag words people use. It's toughness. And physical toughness is not really up to, I'm talking about mental toughness. Physical toughness will take care of itself if you're mentally tough. If you're that guy that says, I'm not going to let my team down, I'm not going to let my teammates down, I'm not going to give anything but my best effort, the physical toughness takes care of itself. I'm going to find a way to get my job done. I'm going to find a way to get this stuff taken care of for my teammates, for my coaches, for my parents, for my fans, for all those my friends that are in the stands supporting me. That'll take care of it. The physical toughness will take care of itself. Be that mental toughness. And that's a big project, and that's what we're building towards as kids that are, we want, for lack of better words, you want tough young men leaving this school that are accountable to other people, that know that there are people counting on them. They have to find a way to get the job done. That are going to stay disciplined. They're going to do those things. We want tough young men.
Well, that's a great philosophy, Coach. And, one thing I'd like to add to that is, as AD, there's times I'll walk to the opposite side, on the visitor side. And, we've had some games, and over the course of the last 3 years, we've had some, I think, drastic improvement in a lot of areas. But the one thing that's been consistent, and I know you're talking about toughness mentally and toughness physically, the one thing that I think ties all that in is I've walked on the visitor side, just get an idea, and, observe what's going on our side, observe what's going on the visitor side. And I've seen where visiting teams have walked off the field, say in the fourth quarter, and the game, maybe they're up by a couple, 3, 4 touchdowns, and for the most part, the score, they're going to win. But I've seen where other teams have walked off the field and say, my God, they're still hitting. My God, Memphis is tough, And so there was just that 1 or 2 little thing that we need to do, which is consistency. But, the mental toughness, the physicality is all there. I think the one thing we need is a good positive direction from a good man and a good staff. And we're proud to have you part of the Memphis family and the Memphis program.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
All right, Coach. Good luck to your years so far.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back in a few minutes. One of the coaches that I wanted to talk about today is our cross-country head coach, Ms. Lori Sanborn. Lori was not able to make it today, but I did not want to go without talking about our cross-country program. Lori's been coaching the program since 2011, and we have had some tremendous success over the last few years. We've had runners, and the teams have made it to the state qualifying tournaments and the state championships. We're expecting possibly the best team we've ever had this year. Pretty much all our runners are returning. And Lori has been coaching, like I said, cross country for 11 years. She's coached our track team for the last 3 years since we brought it back as a varsity sport. She's taught here for 27 years, and we're real proud to have Lori representing as a head coach of our program. And we're very proud of all our cross-country runners. We did a little thing back in the fall, actually it was more the midwinter, after their accomplishments at the state tournament. But we have a great group of boys and girls returning, and we're excited. They've been working out as well, and if everything goes that we hope, we expect another very successful cross-country team this year, and a lot of success, and we expect to be back at the state championship. So, again, just want to give a few words on Lori Sanborn as our head coach for cross-country, not only for our varsity, but also for our junior high. Just want to go over a few things. Again, you can see why we're so excited here with the fantastic coaching staff and the commitment we've had. I got to give a hats off, a big Memphis applause, not only to our athletes, but to our parents and the community have all been in support of everything we've done these last few months. We've had all our boys sports working conditioning 3 days a week. We've had all our girls sports conditioning. We've had junior high athletes showing up. Parents have complied with everything we've asked. We're doing screenings, coaches are wearing masks, temperature screenings, health questionnaires to do and provide the best and safest opportunity for our kids and making sure that nothing happens when they go home to the families. Our fall sports season officially does start next week. On August 10th, we will have football, which will begin. And then on August 12th, all our other sports, which is cross country, boys soccer, sideline cheer, and of course, our volleyball program. So we're real excited to get things off and running. We guarantee you, as a school and as an athletic department, that we were going to do our best to preserve safety for all your kids when they're here. We ask you to continue to follow our protocol, make sure that they're not coughing or sick or have a temperature before you send them here. We ask that, if you have to pick up your student athlete, please be prompt. We will provide a service where we'll, stay here until all your kids are safely home. But on the greater side of things, we're very excited to get going and get our kids back on the playing fields. There may be some changes that take place in the next few weeks. I will update everybody as they come in. But as of right now, it's all hands on deck. We're moving forward. Our coaches are excited. Our kids are excited. We as a school are excited. And we look forward to having a fantastic sports fall season here at Memphis. So until the next time, thank you. And Memphis, stay safe and stay well.